I wish I'd done an advert for this before I'd sold it. I probably would have got more money for it. Ah, never mind. Hi. So, this is the first video that I've recorded with any of this setup. It's on a piece of audio equipment that I've hardly used during any of the lockdown stuff when, you know, everyone else has been doing all of the musical stuff. I have not. So it's taken me 4 or 5 months to do all of this rebuild and everything, and including the bed, including the workshop, including the studio bench that I'm going to show you eventually. But today we're just focusing on this, and it's going to be very difficult to focus because I've forgotten how to do all of this. So we've got my new Skype setup, which is a wireless microphone, so I can walk anywhere and there's no wires, and look, all of the sound, it's exactly the same. It's great. So I'll just show you how fine, close. Well, I don't know if you just heard my phone just blooped then, and let's go into eBay. And let's just scroll down. Someone's just offered me some money for some table legs. Don't know if anyone wants them. But please note where the new bids came from. No, not came from. When they came from even. And also what item it is. Well, I'm sure you can get the idea. I have now officially sold this. 15 minutes ago. Has it been paid for? Okay, it hasn't been paid for. It's still mine. Right, good. Let's get the demo done on this then. So, essentially, the question that I kind of wanted to answer with this is, does it sound good with synths? Because I've not really seen any videos on the internet of specifically synthesizers going into this, and I don't know, most videos when it comes to can I put a synthesizer through an effects module is, oh well, I've got this many £1,000 analog something or other that you plug in, and I'm here going, well, I'm pretty sure I paid £12 for this Casio. It's got some broken keys, and I've had to put it into MIDI into this other Casio. It's a Hohner KS61, same as the Casio. HD3000, I will point out. I already had one of those, sold it. Modified another one, sold that too. Got this one. I'm not selling this one, I like it. You'll find out why in a moment. I just need to press a key here. Unfortunately, that Casio, it turns itself off after 5-10 minutes. I know there's a modification you can make to it. I haven't done that. So essentially, I'm going to be putting cheaper synthesizers through this effects module because, well, partially, one, it's selling, so I wanted to do a video on it. That's exactly how I did a video on the previous Behringer mixer that had effects. Oh, by the way, guess what I'm buying after selling this? Yes, that's right, a Behringer mixer that's got effects. Because I regretted selling that one that is my most viewed video to date. People keep asking me things like, oh, well, what does this sound like? And I go, I don't know, I haven't owned it for 4 years. And then I owned this. And I still haven't really played with it. So, well, I can give you one very simple reason after thinking about all of the things that I've just divulged, saying, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, and then I just divulge into a different direction. The reason that I have sold this and then got the mixer is because this has one stereo input and one stereo output. I believe you can put them into mono. I believe you just go into the left input and then the left output. That's usually the standard thing. So essentially the reason is my setup here. I've got the keyboards here and the keyboards over there and the main studio going into 3 different mixers. And there are 3 stereo inputs that go into my computer. But there are also 3 stereo inputs that go into my speaker controller. Also a Behringer, stacks on top of this. Never did that. Essentially, I need a way of having effects going to both the computer to record and the speakers to not record. The idea being I want to be able to integrate everything together but still be able to keep it separate. So I want to be able to record something on an outboard device out of the box, so not using the computer. Because I don't want to have to turn on the PC and turn on my DAW and to go through all of this faff setting up everything just because I want to hear some sounds. You can just see there's a Behringer mixer here. So that one doesn't have effects. I think I paid £30 for that about 8 years ago or something. It's been a trusty steed and it's just still working. Apart from input 1, that doesn't. So the idea was, when I set it up initially, could I run the effects? No, could I run the sounds for stereo inputs into here and then run it out into that, then run it out back into that, so that I can then have output going to the computer. But the problem with that is that you end up with a feedback loop because you're playing the sound into itself. If the effects are built into the mixer, then you can output however much effects using the effects control knob. You can output that to both the control room and the main out. And I cannot do that with this. So I think the question isn't necessarily how good does synth sound through this. Just reminding it to stay turned on. That's what she said. It's not necessarily a question of does synth sound good, because a synth sounds good through any reverb. The question is the extra functions that this has versus the mixer complete solid presets. Is it worth having this over having the mixer that has the effects? Considering that I've just sold that for £57 and the average price, I've seen one go for 60, I've seen one go for 30, I've seen one go for 80. So that's a pretty solid and pretty average price. And I think that's about the same price as the 1002 FX. If you want the QX, you'll pay an extra £10–15 for the compressor and the USB function. I do not need those, so the FX will do. But will it? Well, I'm getting one for Christmas, so I guess I'm going to find out. Oh, they've paid. There we go. Right. So I've wasted all of that introduction, and now someone's bought it. I've got to post that tomorrow. Didn't I do that with the mixer as well? So, this Casio, it's actually Hohner, whatever, I've modified it. Just like I did with the one on the demo, and just like I did with the next one that I bought, but those two have sold. That sounds lovely. You kind of think, well, what effect am I going to really do with that? Well, I'm going to just add let's see, chamber reverb. I'm going to put that up to a 50-50 mix. No, let's say a little bit more to dry and a little bit less to wet. I don't know whether it's worth me actually explaining the controls on this little thing, but I know, Johnny, edit some sweeping shots of going across here. You've got one control knob, which then selects the effects. You've got one control knob, which edits the effect. You've got one button that is a tap button or a select button. I don't know what that's going to do, because reverb. I do know that with delays, at least, it does something, and I know that with the rotary effect, it turns on and off the rotary. Then you've got the input level, you have the stereo, but also mono display thingy, dry wet balance, output level, which I have set to maximum, and then a button above that, which sets the output level monitor display thingy. Oh, what's it called? The lighty green lighty thing. That's what it's called from now on. dB meter, there we go. That can be set so that you can monitor either the input or output. And that's it. There's no more to it than that. It produces good quality effects, in my opinion. It's £57 it just sold for, so let's see what happens. I think that was Dream Theater. And then the wet signal on the club setting. I did set it to chamber setting before I knew what I was doing. I'm just going to do with club, because whatever. So if we go to 50-50, you get the dry signal and the wet signal. And that extra little bit of ambience that you get just sounds lovely. And people will pay quite a lot of money for something that, well, a single solid metal pedal that does it. If it's stuck in your studio, why do you need a solid metal thing? So let's now go to concert, because I believe that is a much bigger reverb. We're going to stay on exactly the same sound. That is indeed a bigger reverb. And I believe by using the edit thing, I can then make that smaller, or maybe it changes the filter or something. Let's change to fully wet and let's see what difference it makes. So I'm going to go all the way back to the full again. I'm not entirely sure what that does. Does it just give it more rather than a longer and shorter tail? I suppose you choose the longer and shorter tail by choosing cathedral, club, concert, chamber. So, I'm now going to go to the cathedral setting, because it's big, and I'm going to go to 50-50, no, 60-40. So, a bit more wet, a bit less dry. And let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, I think it stopped. I think that's just the hum from the mixer. That's a long tail. Now, you give me another effects module that has that long of a tail. Well, I say effects module. I know that my Cog Triton over there, the effects tail on that, I know is a maximum of 10 seconds on the reverb. I know that none of these have reverb that does any of that. I know that the Modix, I believe that does have that, because it's got shimmer reverb and everything. The AM1X doesn't, the R1 definitely, R3 definitely doesn't. The R1 is another Yamaha. It's a motorcycle. The Novation, I tested that earlier, that definitely doesn't. My computer, well, we're trying to prove here that you don't need a computer for effects, so let's move on to the next effect, I suppose. Also, if you remember me saying, this is modified. So, let's flick this switch, and all of a sudden, the analog filter and the resonance knob have now been activated, which means what was quite a bright sound is now, well, if I have this set correctly, so it's a bit above the... You hear that? I love that you get that from the filter. It's not set correctly. So let's just go all the way down the filter sweep. I'm just going to hold this and I'm just going to bring up the filter. Now, I know this is more of a demonstration of this Casio, but let's just listen to that exact same thing with, I don't know, does that change what I'm recording as well? That's the thing that I didn't check. Doesn't quite have the same effect, does it? Especially if you're going for ambient music. You just one big reverb. You just plug it in, you turn it up, you do that, you can affect the dry wet, and then you're done. How simple do you want it to be? Well, 57 quid simple. So, I think that's the reverb kind of settled. But how about the chorus? Now, I'm going to completely ignore the delay just for a moment. I'm going to go all the way to number 12. Wait, no, sorry, 10 even, because that's its chorus. Good grief. This is set to maximum at the moment, and we've got exact... let's turn the string... No, not turn the string. I'm on strings. Good grief, Johnny, come on. The filters. Turn the filters off. Sounds quite different, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to do a little surprise thing now, which is, even though the keys are dead on this CT6000, I'm going to play it. But I'm also not. The volume is now down on this, and the volume is now up on the CT6000. I don't actually need to go and pan over there. There is one caveat though. That has velocity sensitivity and aftertouch. This does not. The main reason is because that has something like 11 dead keys because someone decided to post it and package it in a duvet. That didn't work. And also the aftertouch is knackered. So, I give you a non-velocity sensitive CT6000. But, even then, it still sounds pretty good. And we're going to turn... Oh, good grief, I can't remember which one it was. I think that means the effect is off. That sounds like the effect is off to me. I'm getting carried away. I'm going to do a little test here. The reason that I've actually booted this up is because I'm now going to turn off the effect of the Celeste. The Celeste is basically another name for chorus, because Celeste and... what's the other button? Ensemble. As you'll see on my Yamaha D85 organ, which one day I'll actually bother doing a demo of, the Celeste and the Ensemble are essentially what they called Rotary effects when they were in the cabinet, but they didn't want to call it a Rotary effect for some reason. So, without it, you end up with this. Now that sounds lovely, and I will actually tell you why. It's because I've got the auto harmonization on, and I believe there's the vibrato on. Yes! So we've got some extra sounds coming through there, but it doesn't sound quite as lovely without that ensemble effect. I mean, let's just go to... You can clearly hear the difference. Let's turn on the Behringer's chorus, Celeste kind of thing. So let's not turn it up that much. It ends up genuinely being like a D-tune. That doesn't have that. This does. How much do you pay for a D-tune pedal, or just a multi-effects that has that you can configure in that kind of way? But crucially, so simply. You turn one knob and it turns from a chorus thing into, well, something that I've never heard before in a little module like this. Beep. So now we are going to... oh, do you know what? I am going to just leave it on that sound because I want to try the reverbs again, but with this. Now we're not going to go to the cathedral because it's not quite an ambient sound, this. especially not by the fact that I can't do anything with the velocity or the aftertouch. Bit of a shame, still need to repair it. I forgot to turn it to maximum. There we go. Isn't that a chord sequence from a song by Focus? I think it goes like that. I don't know. I just kind of make it up. Back to the dry sound just a little bit. I mean, you can tell the difference. It's not difficult to see how valuable one of these things is, just tying things together. Now, it would be handy at this point, thinking, oh, well, I've done a string sound on this and a string sound on that. It would be handy to have something, I don't know, a little bit more professional. Well, it just so happens that underneath here, I have an Alesis Ion that's that's been hiding underneath in a drawer. So, I don't even know what... Oh, do you know what? There's a little stool here. I'm going to have a seat for a moment. Oh, my knees. If I can say anything during COVID, it's ruined my knees. I don't even know what sound I've got on this. And I also haven't played it for quite some time. So I'm going to press the home button. We've got something called Ghostly Lead. Now, if that sound isn't going to be helped by the reverb that I've just realised is already on, I don't know what is. I mean, I'll turn it off so you can hear what it sounds like without it, but... It's just missing something. It's just got that extra little bit of ambience to it. Now, if I turn that to the Mega Cathedral thing... Oh, that needs some maintenance. I wish I'd done an advert for this before I'd sold it. I probably would have got more money for it. Ah, never mind. All I've gone through is the reverb and a little bit of the chorus. Let's go back over to the chorus and actually see how that sounds with that. just that tiny little thing just adds so much more to it. I'm genuinely sat here just sort of going, what else do I need to demonstrate? But there's already some videos, albeit I'm pretty sure one of them was in Russian, maybe one in German. There are things that demonstrate someone counting into the microphone and you can hear what the effect does. But it's not necessarily a practical demonstration of the most used ones. And that's kind of all I wanted to do here. Just give it a bit of a demo. There is one more thing that I do want to do. I'm just going to put the ion away for now. I may jam on that later, but... Oh! Why am I sat on this stool? I've got some comfy ones over... Hang on. One moment, please. A comfy-ish stool. There we go. Perfect setup. Hello. That'll do. So the thing that I want to do is, if I go to an organ sound, and I turn off the thingamajig, and we go volume on that and off that, we turn off the effects on this because... Oh, is that... I'm wrong, that was a clavinet. Is that just from the... Ah, I see. So I'm now just actually figuring out how to use this keyboard after 2 years of ownership or something like that. I think I collected this during COVID as well. Did I go out during a lockdown? No, was it the week after the first lockdown? I digress. So, the filters... actually make this a kind of usable organ. I'm going to press this button and it's going to turn the modulation off, so there's now no vibrato. There's a smidge, but... and then we're going to turn on the Rotary effect, number 13. Now, I think pressing the button on and off basically turns the rotary to fast and slow. So hopefully... if I press this button, we've got a fast rotary, which then it's a bit of a shame that you can't use the rotary and reverb, which is where I believe I need a different effects pedal or module for. That'll be another day. But that is a genuinely usable rotary sound. Let's turn it up to maximum. What does that do? That's usable. That's good. I mean, the organ sound itself is a little bit naff, but actually, I'm now intrigued. Is there an organ sound on the CD6000 here? There must be. Electric piano, vibrate pipe. Oh, jazz organ. There we go. Oops, I've still got the backing thingy on. Oh, how do I turn that off? I don't want accompaniment. There we go. Off. That's quite a nice sounding organ, actually, isn't it? So, you know, I was going to just turn the filters on to see what it sounded like. Obviously, I'm going to do another demo of this later on through different effects, but through this, you turn on the Rotary. It just gives you an extra... Oh, actually, is there already... Aha! The ensemble is already on that. What am I clipping on? I hope it's just the output signal of that speaker. Please be just the output of the speakers. It was on here. I got it, Eddie. I'm in an E-flat day today, apparently. Let's turn on the fast rotary while we're holding a chord. Let's turn how much there. There we go. That's a good sound. I kind of knew it was, which is kind of why I bought it and why I'm doing this review, because if it was rubbish, I'd be just like, here's how rubbish the thing that I'm selling is. But if I then go to a different sound, let's go to... Oh, do you know what? I'm going to do one more organ thing, and I'm going to do it on that big cathedral reverb, because... because that. That's pretty damn good. Now, to finish off, I'm going to go back over to this one, the sort of HD3000 that isn't. Through some of the other effects, and I think I'm going to choose... Let's go through a few sounds and see if I can decide which one to use. Do you know, funny thing is, I was actually listening to that and just going, that sounds a bit dull. Let's turn the effect off. Oh, it sounds more dull. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure if I turn the filter thingy off, it turns a piano into a harpsichord. Now, the problem with the first one that I did of this is I didn't include a switch. The second one did, and this one does too. With that switch in that position, that is how Casio, Horner, wanted this sound to sound. Without the big reverb. Which actually, I will say, is the gold plate effect for Johnny editing it. Some sounds or something is what I was going to do. I was explaining the filter thing on that. So when I actually flick that switch, which then just turns these filters to complete manual mode, on the old one, it was always set to this. Which is fair enough, but you don't know how the sound is supposed to sound. Whereas on this, you do. You just flick the switch. This has just reminded me of yet another thing that this kind of simple module can do. Which is, if you have a keyboard like this, and it is being modified, and it has a lovely filter sweep on it, and let's say that you do an F minor chord that filter sweeps and goes from the top of the filter all the way down. It's set to just a bit of resonance. Now that's kind of cool sounding, but listen how much more complete it sounds when you stick the gold plate reverb on it. See how it sounds just, well, together, done. Even if, I bet if we turn it right down, so let's turn it to about, that's about a third of the way up. I've only done half of the amount of notes there, but even then, you can tell. What happens if we turn it all the way off? Just a tiny bit of ambience makes a big difference. So, looking at the front of this, the gated reverb, that's got to be one to try. Ooh, that's something that I wanted to do. Because fair enough, we've got gated reverb that could be put onto this piano sound. Now that's cool, but it's not really designed for piano. So I'm going to do something that I discovered accidentally by pressing a button before I turned the camera on. And I'm going to go over to the CT6000, which I'm finally going to put in shot. I've got to be careful though, because there's literally a TV here. So that's going my room is just such a complete chaos. So having gone over here, I'm now going to press start on the drums with the effect turned off. No, I'm not, because I haven't turned the volume up. Let's... So now I'm going to turn the rhythm on, but editing out the fact that I just made it clip massively. Now that sounds pretty cool. In fact, I never actually knew how cool of a rhythm machine thing this has. In fact, I'm very likely going to sample this and use that, because that's a really nice solid thing. What happens if we stick a gated reverb on it? Watch it be rubbish now. I don't think there's anything like that I can do with the rhythm. For example, a introduction or anything, but that's cool. Just how much does that transform that? Yep. The funny thing is at this point is that I start to get ideas. In my particular scenario here, going, ooh, I could record that and do that for a song. I now can't because I've sold it and I'm going to post it tomorrow to hopefully arrive for Christmas for somebody. But the Behringer unit that I'm going to be getting to replace this, in theory, has the same effects. It's supposed to cover more variations because instead of having a knob to then change the parameters or select the tap tempo for the delay, which, actually, thinking about it, I will do in a moment. Oh, and the reverse. I do want to just do the reverse for a moment as well. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Ambience. I'm totally just going to go through on these drums now. You know, I've ruined that by changing the tempo, but at the same time it still sounded really good. The problem that I was just explaining was I have all of these ideas in my head just going, oh, I could use it for all of this, but I can't because I've sold it. The Behringer unit that I've got allows me to do the same things, but instead of being a parameter where I can choose a bit how much, you just choose one of 4 or 5 or 6 different effects, or possibly up to 10 depending on... I know that there's 100 different effects. And of course, 10 of those will be reverbs, 10 of those will be delays, 10 of... that kind of theme. It's funny, I should know this. I've reviewed a damn thing that has those effects on it, and I have no recollection of it whatsoever. People keep messaging me on... not eBay, YouTube, sort of just going, so what do you think of this? And I go, I don't know. So, it's going to be a difficult thing to... get rid of this, especially considering, yeah, sure, I've got a mixer with effects coming in for Christmas, but I made a little pocket for this to just go in, so with that in mind, I think it is actually time to just do, really, the final thing with a delay. If I go on to this one, and I'm going to go and hopefully... well, that's a problem. My legs don't fit underneath the synthesizer. If I then just tilt this down so we can see the keyboard that you won't be able to see me playing because I'm in the way, I'm going to now just go... Ooh, Odyssey lead. That sounds nice and kind of simple. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? I'm going to add a delay onto it. Look, if that doesn't transform the sound in your eyes or ears, it's so cheap and so easy to use. You just turn the thing on and it does it. I bet if I turn that on, the delay tails just go on forever, don't they? So you can cancel the delay tails by just turning it all the way off and then back on again. The edit knob is quite good. It's quite a difficult thing to actually demo an effects unit because you can't just, as I demonstrated with the drums, put some sound into it and then just go, here's what the effect sounds like, because drums sound rubbish through a delay. But this lead synth is completely transformed, because if I just play that thing that I just played, great. Even though my fingers tripped over themselves and I kind of forgot what I was playing halfway through, it still sounded alright. If you can play in rhythm with the delay thing, it's good. Is that going to be my official review of this? The Behringer MiniFEX FEX800 or whatever the heck it's called. It's good. There's the flanger, which you can turn on to quite an extreme amount. I kind of want to turn that and then go on to the string ensemble of this. And I'm also going to turn off the ensemble of that, and this up a little bit, and then turn on there the unison 3, which gives it an extra octave. That's the wrong button. Do I want that one? Oh, it was the auto harmonize, and then I'm remembering how to use the keyboard while I'm using the keyboard. I've got the wrong button. That's the one I don't want the memory on. Okay. Turn off the effect. It's just a bit dry and lifeless. To be fair, actually, it does sound clearer and lovelier in general as a kind of vintage synth. But at the same time, you stick that in a mix and people would be like, I don't know. Phaser, what do we do with that one then? Oops. I know exactly what I need to do with that. Sorry, I don't want to explain what I'm doing, just in case I say, here, I'm going to do this, and then it just sounds rubbish. Yeah, that one. Oh, to turn off the harmony things and stuff. I know it's the wrong rhythm and everything. What about that one? That's probably worse as well. I mean, you compare that to just... It does the thing. The Behringer MiniFEX, whatever it's called, it does the thing. I can't add any more to it than that. Each time I bring up a sound and then put it through it, it kind of does the thing, and you just go, yeah, it's alright, that. I am going to do one final, well... Oh yeah. Oh, that's... Is it supposed to only go down to that much? Oh! There we go, so you can control whether it goes down to an octave. Now, I remember specifically that the mixer effects did do that, but it was set to sort of like an octave down, and a fifth, and a third, and you kind of go, yeah, I don't want anything more than those things, because if you set it to just that, no, that, who wants that? No, give me octave, and give me strings on that one. What? I'm on the wrong instrument. From a HT3000, sort of. I mean, it's... It sounds good. So, with only 2 effects left to do, I have a lead synth here. So that's just going to get turned up to near maximum, see what that sounds like. This is delay and reverb together in the final 2 minutes of recording before my camera runs out. Interesting, you get to choose between the two. Excellent. Let's do that then. that's all I can do with that. It's a brilliant little unit. It is the Behringer Mini FEX, whatever that is. It says 800 on the box. It's the FEX800 or something. Go and buy one, because they're quite rare, and they're really good. I wish they were rack mountable, because I had to actually build something to fit it onto this. Kuchiku. So, my name's Johnny. This is JDStone Creations. JDStone Creations, rather. I'll see you again soon. Stay creative.